Alright, I want to make a divisive video and explain why the bourgeoisie are keeping you poor in Guild Wars 2. So, this one is going to piss off a lot of people, or enlighten a lot of people, or maybe both at the exact same time. So, the reason I want to make this video is twofold. One, I think the narrative a lot of content creators have pushed in regards to how to make gold in Guild Wars 2 is exceptionally wrong, and there's a reason behind it. It's both wrong and right. It is right for people who know what they're doing, and exceptionally wrong for new players who have absolutely no idea how the Guild Wars 2 systems work. So how many times have you heard this, right? All of these materials in your inventory, you want to just hit this button and deposit everything, and then deal with it later on down the line. Now, that was the impression that I get from every single other content creator and every other large Guild Wars 2 player across the board. And they're right. I'm not going to say they're not, because they are correct. However, they are correct within the means of their knowledge. They know what to do with an amalgamated gemstone, right? They know what to do with Vicious Claws. And they know that you should generally list items rather than sell items. However, the casual player, for example, such as I'm going to literally use my own mother as an example, who plays a Sylvari Elementalist, has no idea what to do with any of these materials. So she does what all of the big content creators tell her to do, which is hit this button. Which leads to her playing multiple thousands of hours of Guild Wars 2, never going for a legendary because she gives zero shits whatsoever about building Bifrost or doing any of the fancy stuff, and then wonders why she's always poor. Right? She's always sitting on minuscule gold, and I was sitting there and I'm like, there's gotta be something wrong. So I went into her bank, and she had hundreds of Mystic Coins, hundreds of T6 materials, hundreds of gemstones, all of this from just playing the game. And she was literally sitting on over 500 gold in materials, sitting there doing absolutely nothing. And I went through and I just insta-sold some, listed some, and then all of a sudden she's sitting on 200, 300, 400 gold. And she's like, oh my god, thank you, I had no idea I had any of this. And this is where the divisive situation comes up, is what content creators are telling you is correct in the grand scheme of the game. If you want to go for bigger items, like for example, you know, your legendaries like Incinerator, that cost you 2,000 gold, or like Jormag legendaries, or not Jormag, Aurene legendaries, then these will cost you a significant amount. But the reason these cost you significant amounts is because they take stacks of these materials to craft them. So Vicious Claws are turned into gifts of claws, or whatever it is, and then Vials of Powerful Blood are turned into gifts of blood, and all these sorts of things. And you need to use tons and tons of materials to access these things. These are why these legendaries have such high prices, because they're based off the value of what they put into them to get them back. But even then, they're making a fucking killing on you if you decide to buy one over the trading post, because the actual price of, for example, the Aurene's Insight that I'm going to make here, this staff right here, if you scroll down, or is there none listed right now? Aurene's Insight, there we go. So the staff that I want, this is the one that I'm going to try and go for. This is 2,000 gold if you were to buy it across a trading post. However, to craft this, you need to get the precursor for this. Now, if you wanted to get the precursor, you could buy it for 150 gold, or you could do the mastery event for Season of Dragons right here. And this will give you the Fragment of Prismatic Light, which will give you a free precursor weapon. Now, not many people know this. I mean, this event you probably know about because it gives you the free legendary amulet, so most people have done this. But the average player has no idea about this, and me coming back to Guild Wars 2 after a little bit of a break had no idea about this whatsoever. So there's 150 gold save, right, just across the board. And then you go and you look at the evaluation of making the legendary weapon, and the evaluation is about 800 gold under what it's selling for if you were to go about crafting through the entire process. Now, the thing is that yes, that can make you money, for sure, it definitely can. Like, one of the guys in stream was saying that what you can literally do is you go in, you make Sunrise and Twilight, and then you combine them into Eternity, and then you sell the Eternity, because you keep the Sunrise and the Twilight skins, and then you sell the Eternity for 3,500 gold, and use that to fuel other investments, which is a fucking crazy idea, but I'm 1,000% here for it. However, that requires multiple years worth of work, and processes that you need to understand at a fundamental level. I can formulate how you would go about doing that because I've already built Bifrost, I've already built Incinerator. But to a new player listening to me saying, craft 2 legendaries, forge them into 1 legendary, sell that 1 legendary for 3,500 gold, that's a 3-step process that breaks down into a 100-step process that can take years. It took me 2.5 years to build my Incinerator, and it took me 3 days to build Bifrost after I knew the process. That is the informational gap that people are playing at. Once you know what you know, you can utilize what you know, but you can't use what you don't know while you don't know it. Fucking yes, water is wet, more at 7. But where this all comes fundamentally back is everyone says, oh, don't insta-sell or don't sell or whatever have you, right? So in this case, you would then go through the process. Here's how you would do this normally, right? And this can make you more money. I'm not going to say it doesn't. But where I'm saying this is this will make the rich richer and the poor poorer. Quite literally. So if I was to go about doing this correctly, this is worth 4 gold, 17 silver, okay? I could insta-sell for 4 gold right now. Now what people would say to do is right-click use all. Because if you use every single one of these fuckers, and you go through the tedium of opening every single un-ID'd you get, there is a chance you could land an exotic. Right? There is a chance you could land an exotic. And that exotic can earn you anywhere from 27 silver, which at this point is literally a loss unless you sell it. Now here's where the fun part comes in. They'll scream in the comment section, list it, you moron! What are you doing? List it, list it, list it! Okay, who's gonna buy a level 76 Geomancer bow? What dumb fuck is gonna pay double the price for a level 76 exotic? Someone who misclicks, that's who. Someone who can't read level requirements, that's fucking who. So, with stuff like this is like Schrodinger's item. Like, oh, don't insta-sell it, you get half the price. Okay, so if I list a under-leveled 76 item with a dog shit stat line, because it's a longbow, and there's no conditioned longbow builds in the entire fucking game, then, yeah, we're totally gonna make double the price for this when it sells in 2029. So, in this case, insta-selling this bow is perfectly fine within context. Complain in the comment section and push this video to more people so I can actually help them make gold. Thanks. Appreciate you. Love you. Alright. So, now if I was to go about the actual process, it would be right-click, use all, on all of these common un-IDs to fill my entire inventory, to then have to do Inventory Wars 2, which everyone hates, which creates Turbo Burnout. Which, fun fact, not being burned out increases your gold per hour more than doing fucking tedious bullshit. But we don't want to talk about that, do we? So, we would rather put new players through the annoying tedium of going through the entirety of their inventory 100 times a day, rather than saying, play the fucking game, insta-sell it all, and you'll make more gold. I can manage to make, you know, reasonable amounts of gold per day. I can spend through an insane amount and then make it back the exact same day, literally insta-selling things, because insta-selling allows me to get so much higher APH, like actions per hour, to make more items to insta-sell rather than sitting here doing the bullshit. So I'll go through a couple of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. How much does each of these sell for? Individually. 36. Okay. Loss, 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 loss. Argue with me. Please, argue with me. Tell me why I'm wrong. Okay, well what if you go through and you use a Mystic Salvage Kit to break them down? If you coin flip the Ecto, then maybe you make a profit. Okay, so now you have to hit a 25% chance to make 7 silver. Amen, brother. Alright, buy a better salvage kit. You know, you're using copper-fed salvage-o-matics. Okay, pay 800 gems to get the copper-fed. Okay, pay, what is it, 1,200 for the silver fed? And then use a silver, so now you're down a silver. So take that out of the sale equation. Oh my god, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And they've pushed this narrative across the board to everybody. Everyone thinks it's correct. I thought it was fucking correct. It's bullshit. It's complete, utter horseshit. So, what I suggest you to do is, if you're a new player, do this process, okay? Let me move over to my other setup here. So what I want you to do is go to the ArenaNet website, log in, and find your API key. I'm not going to go through doing that process right now. You can figure that part out on your own. If you go through that, then what I want you to do is come over to a website called Guild Wars 2 Efficiency, right here. Now, you're going to go to Account, and then you're going to go to Material Storage. And you're going to go right here, and you're going to order it by individual, or by price here. And this will tell you in top to bottom what is the most expensive items on your account. Now, it will shock you. Absolutely shock you. Because stuff like slabs of red meat. What the fuck? I have 10 gold in meat. Okay, why? Because you've killed hundreds of things, and you've pressed the deposit all materials button on autopilot, and now you've stocked 10 gold from just playing the game. You've just put away all of your T6 materials that you're never going to use if you're not going to craft anything, because the legendary processes are massive and unexplained. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Crafting Incinerator from start to finish was a wild goose chase at best. That shit took me 2 years, because to make the precursor, I had to do jumping puzzles in Matrika province. Just buy the fucking thing. Not use the fucking Wizard's Vault thing. What's even better is that the Wizard's Vault will give you 300 gold worth of items in the gift, the precursor, and all of this, and not give you the collection. Not explain the process, not tell you where to go, not tell you how to do any of it. You just get thrown the materials and say, best of luck, kid. Like, they just smack you on the ass and send you on your way to a Bifrost. Like, it doesn't help anybody. So like I said, amalgamated gemstones, there's your 6 gold. Your fish fillets, which most of you probably have. I mean, yes. Now, the thing is if you know what you're doing, you can convert these. 100%. I have a chef character who could turn these fish fillets into more gold. I could take all of these fish fillets, rather than using them for 5 gold here, come over to this guy. This is exactly what... This is where the like, disconnect happens, right here. Is I know the processes, right? I know how to turn these into more gold. So if we literally come over to this vendor, I believe it's this one. I might have to go to Saitong to show this off. But there's a fishing supplies vendor here. Oh, this might not be the right guy. Shit. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Okay. If we go to Saitong then instead, and we go right to this waypoint. 8 silver waypoint, by the way. We're losing gold on the teleport. Lost value, lost value. And then we come over here. And we go and we talk to the... Oh god, where's the guy? Where's the guy? One of you in here. One of you in here. Which one is it? There's a fish vendor in here somewhere. Fishmonger, there we are. We come to the fishmonger. I can take those fish fillets right here. The fine fish fillets that I just showed you on the Guild Wars 2 Efficiency website. And I can convert them all the way up to flawless fish fillets, because that takes 5 of the fantastics. So then you go through, you convert this, and you go 84, you buy all, and there's my 420 fish gone. Perfect, 420. You know, we're out here. And then you do 47 here. And then you go and you do 41 here. And then you turn all your fish into exotic fish, and you get 18 fish. And then you go through, and voila, you've sold at a loss. Oh, that's perfect. I didn't think that was gonna be a loss, but that's fucking hilarious. That just goes to show the process. That just goes to show that sometimes you can have all the information and still be wrong. So get the fuck off your high horse and let people make gold, okay?